At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the US, please see the OPTAVIA income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the US compensation plan. Please note that the income disclosure statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the US under the US compensation plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
Hi guys, welcome. If you're just joining us, since some people are, we have some incredible stories of transformation to share with you guys. I'm Leslie Begin. This is my family. I'm a mom of 6 girls. I am married to Trey Begin, who is that man in that picture right there. We started with OPTAVIA 7.5 years, almost eight years ago this month. I was a mom of 4 daughters at the time, and they were a lot of fun. 4 kids, 6 and under. I had been pregnant for 4 years straight, breastfeeding for 4 years straight, could not get the weight off. Ended up being introduced to OPTAVIA by my coach. I lost 45 pounds in 16 weeks, but more than that, I gained purpose. I realized I was hungry for more in life. I realized that I had dreams that I could make this huge impact on the world, and I loved my kids. And I was ashamed to admit that I actually did desire more. I desired adult interaction. I desired a paycheck, quite honestly. We had a business, we were doing fine, we didn't need money, but I did want to go shopping for my new size 2 body and not pull from the family budget. And one day, so I started coaching. A bunch of my friends were like, hey, you left a chubby mom behind. I need help. And so I said, okay, finally, I said, I'll help you. I'll help you. I can do this. So I started coaching, and I just wanted to help a few people. But people kept asking, and I was like, how can I say no? How can I be sorry, done coaching? I wanted to just help these 5 people, so I did. So you have to stay right where you are, even though you feel miserable, and I feel amazing. So I just kept going, and it kept growing because so many people needed what we had. And so one night, I walked in my bedroom, and I was coaching as a hobby, and my husband was laying in bed, and he thought he was having a heart attack at the age of, 35. And he had the pressure on the chest, and we had just tucked all the girls into bed, and I called a neighbor, and I'm like, I've got to get Trey to the hospital. And while we sat in the hospital and he was hooked up to all these tests and all these machines, we found out he was having a panic attack. And I knew in that moment, I looked at him and I was like, he has so much stress providing for our family and all these other families that are business employees. And I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun helping people. And so I was like, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur. I'll just make a business out of this, take some pressure off of him. And before you knew it, we had this team of people that became my friends. And we grew this business that helped us to dream again because we had stopped dreaming. We grew into this community of people who were a support system. And we had these awesome coaches who were our mentors, who were pouring into us. And we were getting this personal growth that we hadn't experienced in so long. And we couldn't turn back. So tonight, I want to bring to you some stories of friends who've been impacted by our decision to say yes. It was one decision. When my coach said, do you want to coach that friend or do you want me to? I was like, I don't really need another hobby, but I feel like I should pay it forward to her. So I guess I'll coach her. That one yes led to these following transformations. Before we go into that, I want to talk about how OPTAVIA, 3 quick things. OPTAVIA is here to create lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. This isn't a diet, it's a program, and we have 4 components to our program. And if you're only engaging with one, I would challenge you to engage with the rest. You've got an independent coach who helps you, walks alongside you, encourages you, cheers you on every step of the way. You have our Habits of Health transformational system that's made up of a bunch of different tools that will literally change your brain and get your mind healthy while your body is getting healthy. You've got this incredible OPTAVIA community. You've got Facebook groups. You've got these calls on Wednesday nights where you can tune in and be encouraged and inspired by people who've gone before you. And then we have our fuelings that just make it really simple to eat what you need to eat when you need to eat it. The goal, though, isn't just a healthy body. That's one really important part of our program. But having a healthy mind through seeking personal growth through the tools that are offered, and then finding healthy finances, what I've recognized is all 3 of these things work together to create optimal health. So I want to jump into some stories because honestly, the stories are what changed my life. I heard a story and it's what made me say yes. I heard a story and it's what made me say, if she can do it, I can do it. I heard a story and I was like, man, I'm leaving people out because I'm not helping people like her. So tonight I want to bring you some powerful stories. We're going to be very story focused. At the very end, I'm going to give you a few details about coaching to answer some questions for you. So first of all, Jeff Silvestri, I picked this picture specifically for you. Jeff, will you come off mute and share your story?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share. And on the previous call that we just had, Trey, I love you. You speak to me and you are part of our story. And so since we were talking on the previous Habits of Health call right before this, talking about addiction, I want to start with prior to my coaching journey. My wife and I have been coaching just over 2 years. And so I want to tell you some things that I was addicted to. Not necessarily food, but I was addicted to being stuck. I was addicted to being stagnant. I was addicted to complacency. Anybody else feel that? I was addicted to a fixed or a broke mindset, which led to a broke bank account. Many of us, I'm sure, have been there. I had lost the ability to dream. Anybody else feel that? I truly felt like my life was destined a Monday through Friday grind, just living for the weekend. That's what I felt like all the time. I felt stuck in a 20-year corporate career, and I had no purpose. I was just floating through life. Many times during these 20 years of corporate life, I also had to take on an additional job and just to make ends meet. I felt stuck. I was commuting 3 or 4 hours a day on the road, Monday through Friday. I was away from my family. I was away from my kids, and I wasn't a present dad. I was hurting. And it took my grandfather passing away in early 2018 to really shake me and kind of make me reevaluate life. And I realized that my current lifestyle was never going to make an impact and never going to leave a legacy. I started looking for other options and opportunities anywhere I could. I was determined to live life on my own terms. That's what I wanted to do. Uh, my wife had been coaching. She started coaching early January 2018. And she asked me multiple times if I would partner with her. And of course, I'm stubborn. I want to do it on my own. So I told her no. So I kept beating my head against the wall, trying to find other opportunities, but I realized I wasn't finding anything and I still felt stuck. And so one day I realized, what do I have to lose by giving this a shot? So I did. I jumped in. I had no clue what I was doing, but I jumped in full force. And it's the best decision ever. What coaching has done, I want to share a little bit of that with you. It has challenged me to address my surroundings and my relationships. I frankly had to cut out some relationships in my life because they were not serving me well. That's what this coaching community has done. It's provided accountability, not only on my own health journey, but on a life journey as well. This coaching community will help you to level up. I gained a community that helps me dream again. And the man that you just saw in that previous Habits of Health call, Trey Begin, helped us, me and my wife, to dream. We had a 7-year dream to move from the state that we were in to another state across the country that we felt like was a pipe dream. And one day last year, Trey sat down with us and said, if you could, how would you make it happen? If you could, if you had the opportunity, how would you do it? And he breathed life into us. And so we began to dream. And a 7-year dream came to fruition last month. And we made our relocation because of OPTAVIA, because of this community, because of our mentors. So I want to tell you, we're still dreaming big dreams. Now we know we can accomplish these dreams. They're big, scary dreams, but we're going to accomplish them. So I want you to know, I'm no longer in the corporate world. This is what I do. I love life. I found a passion. I found a purpose. And I want you to know that the personal growth and development through this community, through the mentorship, is incredible. I'm not the same person I was in 2018. And just know, through this community, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. Thank you so much for your time.
Gosh, thank you, Jeff. I love hearing your story. Joanna Mitchell, I want you to hop off mute and share your story.
Thank you, Leslie. My name is Joanna Mitchell, and Leslie and Trey Begin are one of Jay's and my best friends. And we came into this business almost 6 years ago. And when I came into this, I was broken because I was addicted to comfort, addicted to convenience, addicted to stinking thinking, addicted to believing that this is as good as it's going to get because it was easier to believe in the brokenness than it was to change. That cycle of defeat was roaring around me. I had 6 small children and a husband that had been sick for 5 years. I had all the excuses to stay stuck. I had all the excuses to stay addicted to the foods. I had all the excuses to stay small. And you know what? That was riddled with shame too, because here I had my dream of being mama and it wasn't enough. So shame compounded on addiction, compounded on being stuck, meant not moving forward. But then I made a decision to say yes. I made a decision to say yes to Leslie when she said, it's time. And she said, trust me. So I embarked on a journey that changed my life forever. The cycle of defeat was broken. And when I lost just 35 pounds, I gained power. I gained a new mindset that I have power. I am in control. I can change my future. I don't have to live in memory anymore. I can live from imagination. I don't have to live in the memory of defeat. I can live from imagination and dreaming. So we started dreaming. Now, mind you, my husband in this whole process went through this major process and decided he wanted to go back to school. So suddenly I moved from deciding to coach and coaching because I just wanted to tell everyone you could do it too. I wanted to be a cheerleader, to coaching because I'm the sugar mama. And that scared the badonkers out of me. Y'all, I retreated back. I retreated back to, how can I? I'm not worthy. I don't deserve. I'm not enough. I'm just a mom. My identity is mom. How do I do this? But you know the answer to how? Do you want to know what the answer to how is? The answer to how is yes. And day after day, I learned to say yes. This community here gave me the power to say yes. Yes to the fact that I can grow and I can change and I can learn. Yes to the fact that I'm made for more than that cycle of defeat. To you, yes to the fact that if you can see it behind your eyes, you can do it. Yes, the answer to how to break addiction, how to create a new future for your family, how to walk away from a job. The answer to how is yes. And this journey has been about me learning to say yes. I do not have to walk in that cycle of defeat. I do not have to listen to the stinking thinking. I can change the way I think, and so can you. This community, our program brings health. This community brings healing. And so my question to you is, have you decided, are you going to stay fixed, or are you going to start creating what's behind your eyes? And when you've made that decision and you come with the question how, remember me saying the answer is yes. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you. And we are changing things up for a minute because I think Chris had a technological problem.
He did.
So Kristin Dowd, I would love for you to come off and share your story.
Wow, that was surprising. I'm glad that glad that I was ready. So yes, as Joanna would say. So thanks for handing it over to me. And this has been a really interesting evening. Throughout the time that I've been listening to this call and the previous call, I feel something kind of burning inside me that I may shift gears a little bit here. So my name is Kristin Dowd. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I started on program about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, May of 2018. Leslie asked me a question today, and she said, what were you feeling the day before you started program? And just to give y'all kind of a little Cliff Notes version, I lost 62 pounds on program and have kept it off. But when she asked me that question, I wrote down some words that were the first things that came to my mind, because I actually remember the day before I started program. I remember it really well. It was my son's birthday, and my son is back here right now on a video. There he is, on a video game. It was the day before his 6th birthday, and the words that I came up with were hopeless, powerless, numb, ugly, big, sad, fake, and codependent. The last two were really, really pervasive in my life. I was living a life on social media that would have led you to think that I was super happy and that life was good. And I wanted everyone to think life was good, but guess what? Life was not good at all. The codependent part comes into this part right now too, because at that time I was in a relationship with an addict. And that's what I feel really strongly about sharing right now. I feel like there's somebody on this call that goes to food or goes to alcohol because there is someone who is an addict, an alcohol or drug addict in their life. And that is one of the most uncontrollable feelings you could possibly imagine. And one of the most hopeless feelings you could imagine. And that was me the day before I started program. So I started program, and about 2 or 3 weeks into program, I realized something was different about this. I was in control. And, in a relationship with an addict, it feels so incredibly out of control. So I grasped onto something that gave me control. And I knew just 2 or 3 weeks in that I didn't want to screw it up, because honestly, I didn't love myself or value myself enough. But I knew, and I say this analogy a lot, I knew if I was the only one riding on a bus, I wouldn't drive it over the cliff. But if I had a whole bunch of people on that bus would never go over the cliff, ever. I knew to stay accountable, I had to start coaching. And that was only 3 weeks into my own personal journey. 3 weeks after that, the rug got pulled out from under me, and everything about my life changed. And it was unknown and uncertain and terrifying. And I started this coaching gig truly just to stay accountable. I started this coaching gig as essentially a stay-at-home mom who hadn't made a family income in 15 years, 2 small children. 3 weeks into my coaching, I realized I was going to be, as Joanna just said, the sugar mama. And that was terrifying. But I knew there was other women just like me who hated the way they looked in the mirror, who felt unworthy, who were not the best moms they could be, who may be in codependent relationships. I knew that I was going to change people's lives. And there was days I woke up in this coaching journey, and I've now been coaching for 2 years. There have been so many days that I've woken up so incredibly tired, so defeated. It's still something I contend for. And now I'm a single mom. But guess what? I have these 2 children here that I will do anything for. And some days I borrow my strength from those kids. And I know that I'm helping other mothers and fathers who are in the same position I am. And now 2 years later, my children have this amazing life. I've got an amazing life. I'm a happy life. We've been able to stay in our home. The kids got to stay in their school. And more women and men are reaching out to me with similar stories, and similar stories for reasons that they were overweight that were so similar to mine, that there might have been an addict in their life. There may have been some out of control forces in their life. And it's the sad part of I guess how I felt before coaching has so much to do with what I was portraying. I wasn't being real. And in OPTAVIA, I have found this group that I can be real with and I can be vulnerable with. And it opens up the floodgates for other people to be real and to be vulnerable. Leslie and Trey and Joanna have been my mentors through this whole process, and knowing how they have handled coaching and how they have handled program and how it does relate to addiction and codependency, it's so wonderful to be able to talk about that. So coaching was the step that I thought I was taking initially just to stay accountable, and coaching was the thing that changed for not only me and my children, but for now hundreds of other coaches and their children. So thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Kristen. Chris Steinmetz, will you come off mute and share your story?
Yes. Hi, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry for those technical difficulties there, but thank you, to follow up with these transparent and vulnerable stories. Thank you so much for letting me be part of this. This is a very hard story for me to tell, but at the same time, I'm very, very thankful to be able to tell this story. Just over a little over 5 years ago, before I was a coach, I was trying to run my own business. I was working 80 hours a week at a job that had me out of town, similar to Jeff. I saw my family for about 36 hours a week. And part of that was sleeping. So at a point, I had realized that I was losing my family. You know, for the first 6 months of my little girl's life, who's now 6, I missed that because I was out of town traveling, trying to get this business up and running, working very hard. But we had to make a decision. Either I was going to lose my family or I was going to make this business possibly successful. So I walked away. My family was more important, but I walked away with nothing. I put all of my savings into these businesses and walked away with nothing. And now we had to figure out what to do. And when I say that we had nothing, I mean, we were broke. I mean, guys, we were broke. My utilities were shut off every month because I waited to the very last minute. To be able to pay that utility bill. My house was always in pre-foreclosure because I waited to the very last minute to be able to pay that mortgage note. I had to borrow money from my father-in-law, from my friends, from my church. My car was repossessed on Christmas Eve. my kids literally thought that the Grinch came and took our car. So that was a really fun conversation to have. I had to rely on my church to help with food, to give us gift cards to Kroger so that I could buy groceries for my family. My daughter came to me one time and asked for a sandwich, and I had to tell her that she couldn't have a sandwich because I had to wait till the next day to go get some bread. We were on food stamps. At one point, I dug through the pantry to find an old bottle of Hydroxycut and ate Hydroxycut for 3 days so that I would not be hungry and my kids could eat. Then a couple of heroes came into my life by the name of Jay and Joanna Mitchell and Trey and Leslie Begin. And they invited me to explore coaching. And my life has not been the same since. And in a short time after starting coaching, after coaching others to become the healthiest versions of themselves, all of our household bills were covered. And not so long after that, we were debt free and actually sold our house, bought an RV, and toured the country for a year and a half with my girls. I am a full-time health coach, but that doesn't mean that I work full-time hours by any means, but it does mean that I work. But I help people. I help people become healthy. I help people dream again. I help parents get down and play with their kids again. I have coffee every morning with my wife. I make breakfast for my girls every morning. In fact, 2 years ago, we took a last decision trip to Disney World for a day just because we could. It happened to be close as we were getting off of our first family ever cruise. We just bought our dream house back in October in our dream neighborhood with our dream neighbors in our dream city. Yes, that's a shout out to my Memphis folks. You are being handed something tonight, something amazing, something that is life-changing, something that could change your life and the lives of those around you, and you could make a difference. You might be asking yourself, I don't know, what if this doesn't work? What if it does? What if it flippin' does? What is freedom worth to you? What is freedom and time freedom and financial freedom worth to your family and to your kids and to those that are your friends, those around you? I'll end my story with one of my life's mottos. What would you attempt to do if it were impossible to fail? Thank you. I'll turn it back over to you, Leslie.
Thank you, Chris. Wow. We are on these Wednesday night calls because they're inspiring. Y'all don't miss them. I want to share a couple things. This takes work. It takes hard work to get out of your comfort zone. And I want to share some quick details about coaching. I am going to share my screen, and it is not going to be perfect. And the benefits of coaching, you've heard them all in this call. I don't need to go over those. You've heard all these benefits. Yeah, you're compensated. Yes, it's going to hold you accountable. Yes, you're going to be able to pay it forward and feel really good about it and leave a legacy of health for all the people that you impact. It's a relational model. You don't have to do it alone. You are in it with your coach. You get to link arms just like you do on your health journey and do this together. It is simple. It is fun. It is something that you can do as a hobby or as a full-time gig. It's $199 for a coach kit. It's the lowest startup in my mind for all that we get. It's flexible so you can work from anywhere. There's no quotas, no monthly purchases required, and you have a ton of training and support. And this is what I want to leave you with. The person who invited you here tonight, they have nothing. Okay, this is what I love. Sorry. High integrity model. The person who invited you here tonight invited you because they know you'd be an amazing coach. You want to know why? I can assume. You have a heart for people and you have a hunger for more. The truth is that they have nothing to gain unless you want to help people. They're not going to make a penny off of that starter coach kit. They just want to see you impact lives. And we have this huge mission to get America and the world healthy, and we need more people to do it. And I can't help your family and friends because I don't know them. They need you. And so if you're the single mom or the dad who's working all those hours, or the mom who's taking care of the sick husband and raising all the kids, or the husband who's going through school, or the wife who's at home whose husband is having the panic attacks, you can do it. That's what they showed you tonight. So I want to invite you, reach back out to the person who invited you and just say, I'm ready to explore this thing. I don't know if it's a great fit, but I want to explore it and see if it is. Y'all have an incredible night.
At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining OPTAVIA. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the US, please see the OPTAVIA income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the U.S. compensation plan. Please note that the income disclosure statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. compensation plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.